Good evening. Glad to have you with us, and thank you for being a part of the program this Wednesday already, getting closer to the holiday weekend. And still, we're going to look at the embedded chance of showers and thunderstorms, much like today, where you may not have seen any, but your neighbor may very well have. It's going to be the pattern that's going to be very consistent throughout the next several days and throughout your holiday weekend and a bit beyond, with temperatures at or above 80 degrees pretty much across the board. There's some more details to pass along weather-wise. I'll do so in just a few moments. Headlines tonight will include a young man, a teenager at the age of 19, who fell from a 105-foot cell tower in West Liberty. Indictments returned by sitting Johnson County grand jury. More district tournament highlights and updates about who's playing who tonight and who advanced thus far. Several pounds of marijuana on the hood of a Kentucky State Police cruiser. And we'll wrap up coverage of the Sayersville City Council. That will pretty much be all we'll be able to work into tonight's half hour, or what's left of it from this point further. With that said, we do tragically have to begin with a young man who died as a result of a very serious fall. A tower itself 105 feet in height, I have been told. And the young man on his descent reached for his tools, lost his balance, and fell to his death last night. It all happened sometime around 7 o'clock last night in Morgan County on Hog Branch Road, and that is near the Johnson and Morgan County line area. A contract worker who is said to have been employed with S&S Tower Services was wrapping up his job for the day and was getting ready to come down off of the cell tower. He reached for his tools, somehow lost his balance and or his footing, and fell from the tower. We're told the tower height was 105 feet. We're unsure at the distance he was when he fell, if he was at the top of the tower or not. Nevertheless, Tyler Comer, a 19-year-old man from Charleston, Tyler William Comer, was pronounced dead at the scene by the Morgan County coroner. Appalachian Wireless had contracted the company for work at their cell site. Kentucky State Police out of Post 8 in Moorhead are conducting the investigation into his death. A Sayersville man was among several others, the majority of which from Johnson County. In all, 14 people were indicted by a sitting Johnson County grand jury. 42-year-old Daniel Conley was indicted on charges of possession of a controlled substance in the first degree, trafficking in marijuana under 8 ounces, and use or possession of drug paraphernalia, first offense, also endangering the welfare of a minor. He faces 1 to 3 years in prison and a fine of no more than $10,000 on the before-mentioned charges. 39-year-old Brent Cantrell of Redbush was indicted on charges of trafficking a controlled substance in the first degree, being less than 2 grams of methamphetamine in the first offense. He was also indicted on being a persistent felony offender in the first degree after being caught with methamphetamine, more than $3,200 in cash, digital scales, and other items in his possession at the time of the arrest. He faces up to 5 years in prison and a fine of no more than $10,000. Ricky Hale, 32, of Staffordsville, was indicted with escape in the second degree and being a persistent felony offender in the second degree after escaping the custody of the 24th Circuit Community Corrections Program. He was there on charges of manufacturing methamphetamine, possession of a controlled substance in the first degree, possession of drug paraphernalia, and being a persistent felony offender. He faces up to 20 years in prison and also thousands of dollars in fines. And the escape charge also adds up to another 5 years in jail. 42-year-old Eric Osborne of Sitka was indicted on possession of a controlled substance in the first degree, operating a motor vehicle under the influence of alcohol and or drugs, first offense. 2 counts of a prescription of a controlled substance not in its original container in the first offense, and tampering with physical evidence. He faces up to 5 years in prison. Philip Lafferty Jr., 32, of Van Leer in Johnson County, indicted on assault in the second degree and tampering with physical evidence. He's accused of physically attacking his father with a knife and then getting rid of his knife and the clothes that he was wearing at the time. 2 Johnson County women and a man from Sayersville are all indicted on similar and same charges for incidents that took place at a Johnson County residence. Those identified in the indictment are 40-year-old Don Ferguson of Whittensville, 36-year-old Kelly Kill of Paintsville, and 35-year-old Wesley S. Hall of Sayersville, each charged with unlawful possession of a methamphetamine precursor in the third offense or greater, with complicity charges as well, possession of a controlled substance in the first degree with complicity, possession or use of drug paraphernalia also with complicity charges added. while Ferguson was also charged with being a persistent felony offender in the second degree after a prior indictment. They each face up to 10 years in prison on many of the charges and up to $10,000 in fines. 28-year-old Andrew Howell of Prestonsburg was indicted on allegedly failing to pay child support in an amount over $17,900. Also indicted on flagrant non-support charges, Michael Young, 35, of Ulysses, for failing to pay child support in the amount of $6,688. Young also was indicted on charges of being a persistent felony offender for 2 previous convictions, and both of those were for non-support as well. And lastly, 35-year-old Thomas Trimble of Thialca for failing to pay child support in an amount approximate to $7,635. Each of the non-support charges carry a penalty of up to 5 years in prison and up to $10,000 in fines. Sarah McKenzie was indicted on a charge of bail jumping in the first degree, also facing similar charges Justin Staniford of Tudor Key. Each charge carries jail time of up to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 in fines. And a correction to be made to the name of one of 3 individuals indicted, as I mentioned just a few moments ago, on meth and other related charges. While I read the name correct, I'm now aware that the graphic at the bottom of the screen was incorrect. The name of the woman seen here indeed is Dawn Ferguson, Dawn W. Ferguson, who's to be 40 years of age and from Wittensville, while her name was listed as Sarah on screen. Her name, in fact, is Dawn Ferguson. Dawn W. Ferguson. My apologies. Also indicted was 43-year-old Joyce Eastep of Oil Springs on a charge of theft by unlawful taking under $10,000. She was indicted on taking $919 from the property tax collections account of the Johnson County Sheriff's Department. I'll be right back. For high-speed internet starting at 15 meg for all of your gaming, movie, home, and business solutions, or to watch TV, including your favorite local channels without a contract, with hundreds of channels and digital and HD quality, and to stay connected 24/7 with friends and family, a direct line to 911, or to give your business the link it needs, choose telephone service you know is always there. Just click on their link on this site to find out how affordable the latest technology in communications can be. Foothills Communications. We'll wrap up coverage tonight of this week's session of the Sagersville City Council. Last night I covered only one small portion of that meeting, some remarks by Mayor Pete Shepard about the interest from a couple of parties into the Joy Global facility. He couldn't elaborate very much during the meeting, and we brought you basically all the details that we could share at this time last evening. He did promise, as I mentioned last night, to keep us up to date should there be any other formal interest in the facility and potential future use for it here in Sagersville, Magoffin County. Covering the rest of the meeting, however, the Magoffin County Senior Citizens Program requested some continued support from the Sagersville City Council to the tune of $7,800 for the fiscal year. That will furnish 12 meals a day for their Meals on Wheels program. That's $2.50 a meal. Of course, that was approved unanimously. From there, they went on to talk about the budget and still looking for sites to place 2 tornado shelters. Based on the financial status for the current year's expenditures and collections and projected revenue for the next fiscal year, the mayor presented the city budget for the first reading before the council.
You'll see it says we've taken in complete, now this is for general fund only, we've taken in $1,137,000. We spent $1,108,000, giving us a good total of $20,000. Back fire department, we budgeted $340,000 this year. We've only spent $259,653. Now that's through April 30th. This goes month to month, so I won't have this next report till May 31st. So we're we spent 76% of our budget. With our emergency management, we spent 82% of our budget. With our general government, we're within 5% of spending our budget money. Parks and Recreation, 85%. And our police department, we've spent 78% of our budget. So basically, all along, we're right on budget.
That's as of April 30th.
April 30th. We've got 2 months left in that. Now, there'll be expenditures come out of that. So you kind of have to project. I took over 10 months and then projected it for 12 months, and we're going to be probably under budget and everything, probably but general government. I think we'll be under budget, and general government will be over budget a little bit.
This is just giving us a general idea.
That's a general idea of what it is. That's all I can do right now. Some of the things I've got out is we've rebid the insurance for the city, and the guy says he's gonna come in with a lot better price. We've rebid on the medical insurance. We're looking at different policies for that to try to save some money. We're still not knowing if we're gonna get any co-severance money this year. That's still up and about with the legislature and the county. So this is the best guesstimate that I can give, at this time with all of it. But this is an accurate report on what we have spent out of each department and what we're at on budget. So now for next year's budget, we're gonna go up quite a bit because I'm projecting we're gonna take in a little bit more. And kind of unprojected this year, so we wouldn't go over, but I think next year, and you can see that on the next year's budget, I got the proposed for the expenditures out of each department. I've got the emergency management will stay the same, 8,000, and we've increased our fire department to 395,000, the police department to 395, Parks and Recreation to 100,000, the street department to 182,000, and our general government to 459,000, and that's projected a little higher because we had another category that said tourism. And what we do with that tourism money, we'd only spent 4,000. We said we was gonna spend 73,000. If that comes out of the general government, we put it in the general government spending for tourism. We don't spend it out of a separate account. We don't have a tourism account.
After further discussion, all approved the approximate $1.52 million budget for the city of Sagersville. Following that, the mayor asked the council to bring names for the next meeting for a person that they would like to have selected to serve on the County Board of Assessment Appeals. Paul Douglas Conley has served on that for the maximum 2 terms. In the mayor's report, Shepard said that he is still looking for somewhere to place the 2 storm shelters which were purchased from Joy Global before it closed.
The state said that we could not put the tornado shelter on their property for at least 1 year after they purchased it, so we would have to wait a year if we put anything on their property on the parkway where I was looking at. So we're gonna look for a different place up there, and I haven't checked with anybody else up there since. So,
What about the other one? What about the other shelter?
I'm supposed to talk with some of the members of the Baptist Church, and there's a place behind it, and we're looking at over here at our park over here, putting it there, and Mr. Councilman Tom Fraser has some property there I might talk to him about, which I haven't got a chance to yet, so once I get all that, we'll set them up. Still want one tried down, put downtown, and one kind of up on the parkway, if that's all right with you guys. I think that puts it, close, so. But that's where I'm at. The state had to wait a year, or we could have had that place up there. I think would have been ideal for the.
Now on to your McGoffin Farm Bureau community calendar. Happy birthday, Peanut. And if you're a friend or a family member, you know that Peanut is Hazel May Adams. Hazel May Peanut Adams. Happy birthday from Jamie, from John, from Jim, and Emily Grace. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you. And I've got a 9th birthday wish here I've got to let me get to. And this is a 9th birthday wish to this young lady, Cadence Blanton, with a whole lot of love and best wishes on her now 9th. Mom, Tom, Andrew, Chelsea, Jacob, Mama, Pappy, friends and family said happy 9th birthday to Cadence Blanton. We covered it with a story yesterday. Just a quick reminder about the all-class reunion this Saturday for any Sagersville High School student. Now, that's if you attended 1 year or all of your years of high school from the 30s to the 70s, they want you to be a part of the party. This Saturday, 5 to 10 or 5 to whenever at North McGoffin Elementary. Bring your food if you can. Bring yourself. Bring your guest, whatever. Just make sure you get there. This is going to be a historic event for everyone who ever went to the Sagersville High School. North McGoffin Elementary this Saturday beginning at 5. There's 2 numbers there at the bottom of your screen. You can call if you need to learn more. The 3rd annual Salyer Reunion is this Saturday in Sagersville at the Lloyd M. Hall Community Center in downtown. Starts at 11 until 4. All family and friends invited. If you can, bring a covered dish or some drinks with you. But the 3rd annual Salyer Reunion is this Saturday at 11. The next Royalton Trailtown Committee meeting, glad you asked, this coming Wednesday, June the 1st at District 3 at 6 o'clock. And get ready for the big 1st annual horse show put together by the Sagersville Fire Department. 37 classes, I think it is. Gates open 2 o'clock. It's Saturday, June the 25th. So I'll remind you now, and then I'll remind you a little later on. Show starts at 4. Call 349-3256, the Sagersville Fire Department, if you need to know more now. And if you need me to tell everyone about a birthday or an anniversary or a calendar announcement like you just heard, all you have to do is tell me, either by mail, email, Facebook, phone, fax, or drop it off here at the Your News Today studio on East Maple Street in Sayersville. And remember our website in case you need to catch some news that you might have missed or need to see again at yournewstoday.com. And turning to funeral services tonight, we have a listing in honor of Louetta Conley Likens Litton. She passed away on yesterday's date, formerly of McGoffin County. She survived locally by her daughter, Vivian Conley, and son-in-law Carter. Visitation is going to be after 5 o'clock tomorrow and prior to Friday's services that I'm told are going to start at 1. Now, both services and visitation from the Northcutt & Son Funeral Home in Moorhead. Burial will be here at the Conley Cemetery at Pigeon in Johnson County. Hey everybody, come meet our pets of the week. This is Minnesota. She's a happy tabby with the most beautiful green eyes. She gets along with other cats and she's waiting to start the summer with a family of her own. And this handsome gentleman is Atlas, and he's trying to find his way into your heart and home. He's very well behaved, already knows some commands. He has one blue eye and one brown eye and would love to spend his days running and playing in a yard of his own. If you'd like to give them a forever home or to learn more about how to adopt, donate, or volunteer to walk, pet, or even transport an animal to the vet or to their new home, call Whiskers or Wags, the Johnson County Animal Shelter at 297-PETS. In the parking lot of the Pikeville Food City, officers got much more than groceries, 8 pounds, but 8 pounds of marijuana seized from a vehicle that had made its way from Stockbridge, Michigan, or from the Michigan area and traveling to Pike County. Post 9's criminal interdiction team received enough information that they were able to act on a quantity of marijuana, a significant quantity of marijuana that was coming to Pike County, and they made a felony arrest last night as a result. They found 48-year-old Christopher Higgins of Stockbridge, Michigan, in the parking lot of the Food City in Pikeville. They also had a K-9 unit with them that tested positive or showed positive signs on Higgins' vehicle, we should say. Troopers found and then seized this, about 8 pounds of marijuana, vacuum sealed for the most part in these plastic bags. As for Higgins, he was arrested, and he's charged thus far with trafficking in marijuana over 5 pounds, first offense. Now, he's still lodged in the Pike County Detention Center where he was taken, as the case remains under investigation by Trooper Bryson of the Kentucky State Police, who wishes to remind everyone that drug tips can be reported to investigators at Post 9 by calling their local number, 433-7711, and callers can remain anonymous. Last night it was baseball highlights from the 57th District Tournament. Tonight it is softball. We'll pick it up with Game 1 between Sheldon Clark and the Lady Hornets from McGoffin. That's Leslie Howard, bottom of the 4th, knocking one right down the third base line. Fair ball, good for a double. That's Alexis Montgomery rounding second, rounding third, and scoring. And on a 3-2 pitch, Jazzy puts one behind second base, hitting Sis in for a 5-2 McGoffin County Hornet lead. And Hannah Skaggs would wrap it all up, holding Sheldon Clark to 2 runs after 7 innings, and McGoffin County advances to tomorrow night's championship for the 57th District here at home on their new field, taking on Sheldon Clark. In Game 2 last night, bottom of the 6th, Paintsville High School stopped Central at 2 runs for the inning on 3 hits, and down 10-1 with Central in the lead with 2 outs, their last at-bat. Paintsville's Gabrielle May pops one up to Bailey Daniel, and this one's over. The only time Paintsville and Central met this season, it's a 10-1 victory for Central. And that pits Central and Central and McGoffin County against each other in tomorrow night's championship. So that sets up a championship round tomorrow night in softball. McGoffin County and Johnson Central. The ladies from McGoffin County lost to the Lady Eagles in their only matchup in the regular season, 1 run to 3 runs. That was here at home for the Hornets. Basically, right now, you've got the number 3 and number 4 seeds in the region. You've got McGoffin County 23-3, 3-1 in the district, while Central is 22-14 and 2-0 in the district. That game set for tomorrow night. While tonight, you've got a boys matchup of Central and Sheldon Clark. Now, Johnson Central lost 1 run to 2 at Sheldon Clark in the regular season. Then they won 8 runs to nothing at home. So we'll wait and see how this one turns out. The boys from Central 28-9, Sheldon Clark 16-14. Central would be the favorite going in. I'll have some highlights for you on tomorrow's program. We'll see who wins the district championship then. With all of that said, that leaves but one more thing to say, and that is that your weather forecast is going to continue to be much more like summer than it has been. It's as though we went right over top of spring and straight into summer. We've got humidity levels on the increase throughout your forecast, temperatures staying well placed into the 80s, and a chance of showers and thunderstorms across the board. A scenario that kind of started today with earnest and one that will continue. For the most part, most of the viewing area has stayed dry. A little bit of green over top of McGoffin and Johnson at parts today, most of it not hitting the ground. And I think for the most part, most of us will see continued dry conditions. As you can see, much of the showers and thunderstorm activity staying well to our west and to our south. That's going to be the trend tonight. The trend does continue, however, with about a 20 to 30% chance of showers through this time next week. To sum up your Licking Valley RECC forecast, mostly cloudy, 59 tonight. Still can't shake a threat of showers. A little lingering fog in the morning, 86 on your Thursday. Partly sunny, a 20% chance of some showers. They will be isolated tonight, and the same thing tomorrow and tomorrow night. Into your Friday, a day closer to the weekend, the Memorial Day weekend, 86 again, 60 again for highs and lows. Mostly sunny skies, still a 20% chance of some showers and thunderstorms, mainly afternoon when temperatures start to crank up. And almost ditto, 84, partly sunny Saturday, 83 mostly sunny Sunday, partly sunny and 82 on your Memorial Day, and 20% across the board. That's it. That's a wrap. Another day down. Hope to see you back here for the next one. Enjoy your Wednesday. We'll see you back here tomorrow night. Thanks for watching.